We are now live. Good evening, everybody. How you doing? It's Paddy and Wee Judd. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, yeah. He just let us down at the last minute again, just because his wife was sick. How terrible. Terrible. But Dan stepped up like the hero he is, and he's filled his place. And to be quite honest, he's twice the size of Judd. So, I mean, I'm getting 2 for 1 here. So I'm going to say hello to those who are already in. I've seen the boys talking there. Mike Curtis, Ghost Malone, Tony's Ponies. Now, bearing in mind, you're watching me doing this, so this could be a very slow show tonight. You know, I'm not very good at the technicals, but you are so welcome to it tonight. We've got lots to talk about. Dan has some news for us. And also, I just wanted to do a throw in here. I got the new Jack Wolf knives there recently, just done the unboxing video. Look at them Kieranite scales. Oh, man, they are just delicious. They are delicious. So got that in. They're going to be going live next Friday, and we have Ben coming on the Thursday podcast next week. But I've got a real surprise that you haven't seen before, and it comes in this package. A little leather sheath with a clip on the back of it for putting into your pocket. Really good. But inside it, we have the Twisted Assisted Christmas knife. And it is an Arthur Wright clip point. He's also doing the lamb point, but these in micarta. They're micarta scales. This one's green micarta. It's not coming out here. I'll be doing a video on it tomorrow. So these are exclusive to Twisted. You can't get them anywhere else. Micarta scales on the Arthur Wright budget clip point and lamb's foot. And they're going to be coming in at £49. It's just fantastic. £49, fantastic. You're getting an exclusive on this. You're getting a lovely leather case with a clip, all for £49. There's your Christmas present sorted for 10 people. You're welcome. That's I just think that's a great bargain for Christmas. You want to get anybody, they're a great little knife. You know, it's C75 carbon steel, but hey, it'll sharpen easy. It'll just cut away for as long as you probably ever need it. It doesn't take that long to cut a box open, and that's what most of us sort of do. So there we go. So really good. So I'm glad we got that there. I've got the lamb's foot, should be here tomorrow, and it'll be in the video tomorrow. The other thing is, yes, God love Justin. His wife wasn't too well. He wasn't too hot, so he didn't want to come around the house and do a video. And when I rang him last, he was feeding his wee wife eggy in a cup. So that was lovely. Eggy in a cup, do you know what that is? Yeah. Just a boiled egg, put in a cup with butter, and you stir it all up. Dan's looking at me blank.
Yeah, that must be Northern Ireland thing, mate.
You
have to go past passport control to get to that, do you?
So, Dan, you're very welcome to the program. Nice to have you back on again.
Thank you very much.
You were coming on anyway tonight. This wasn't Justin; just happened to be not able to make it. You'd been invited onto the show because there's a wee change from the last time we seen you. The last time you were sort of backing out of doing a lot of work, giving yourself a break. You were in a new day job, working hard, and still doing a bit on the side just for friends and family. So what has changed, please, Dan?
Okay, so I just want to quickly just go back to something you said earlier before I get into the whole blade bridge thing. I've been spying on these knives that you've got here, Stephen. So the Jack Wolf and Kieranite. Well, anyone who knows me I'm a big fan of Kieranite, and I do a bit of Kieranite myself. So I definitely excited to have. And I haven't seen that yet, but I'm definitely. In fact, I think I might have Stephen send that to me, so I can have a better look, because I very much like Kieranite. So I'm very buzzed for the new Jack Wolf knife. Going back to was it Arthur Wright? Did you say Twisted Assisted?
Twisted Assisted.
Yeah,
got the knife made. Yeah.
When you said about the carbon steel on them, that, I mean, first of all, that's a fantastic price. I mean, I think there's like burlap, micarta and stuff like that. But yeah, and but they're such a nice knife anyway. And
yeah,
the fact that it's a good carbon steel like that, for a lot of people, like you said, I just like to say, anyone who knows me well, or like Paddy does, or just know, I sharpen a lot of tools, knives, axes, chisels, chainsaws for a long time. Now the carbon steels are absolutely fantastic to learn to sharpen. So if you not just want a birthday present, a Christmas present, or a nice, knife that's a really good quality, sort of handmade in Sheffield knife, you're going to get that really, because carbon steel, you can always get a razor edge on it because the carbon sort of fills all the steel up. Where you some of the cheaper steels or sacks and stuff, they're good, but they break away because they've got a lot of chromium and nickel in it, which is quite a hard substance. When you look at carbon, joins to everything really nice. You can get a razor edge. But they are so good to practice on because they're not particularly hard to sharpen. So you can get a wicked edge on them. So I was just want to say, if you're thinking about a traditional, that is the one, and something, or even something just to have a little in your pocket, like Paddy said, just to give it just to practice a quick sharpen as well. That's an ideal size and an ideal steel to start your sort of like sharpening practice on, and you can't really destroy them either. They're just a good solid built knife with a good steel.
Yeah, I totally agree. They're so comfortable in the hand because I have a bulbous end compared to the American Barlows. These have a bulbous end on them, which is just in the hand, so comfortable. But you really are correct on that C75 steel. I mean, the other thing that will teach you how to do, which you'll do first, and if you're clever, you'll do a lot, is strop, because the strop brings this back without having to sharpen most of the time. I find I can just strop mine. I have about 3 or 4 of them in there that I use on a regular basis. So to have one on burlap micarta, I'm over the moon. Really chuffed at that price. It's fantastic.
Yeah, you've pulled lucky as always, Steve, with the good knives. So okay,
let me just say there is no luck involved.
Good looks then.
I only promote good knives.
So regarding the blade bridge, so I effectively closed it down because we've I don't know if anyone knows Steph, my partner. She's pregnant with twins. So I wanted to concentrate more on family and more on a steady income where everyone knows that any sort of knife industry, or even if it's whatever you're into, that sort of thing, that's not particularly an all year round steady stable thing. And I think that the economy sort of struggled a bit, so I sort of thought, well, instead of struggle with that, I'll sort of wound it down and then gone. But what's actually happened is the reverse has happened, because I've been busy in the week and just doing things in the workshop on the weekend. So, and not just sack stuff. I've been doing other stuff, a lot of acid washing lately, stone washing, copper washing, nickel washing, brass washing, copper washing, but lots of different stuff, a lot of filing. I've been on some different projects as well, which you'll see will be coming out later in this year and sort of beginning of next year. Basically, so it's kind of allowed me, when I get a bit of free time on a Sunday, I nip into the workshop and I've got that sort of like, instead of having to do the sort of more mundane servicing, cleaning, sharpening, stuff like that, I just get to work on newer stuff and doing different effects, different finishes. And then I thought, I couldn't really promote this without the website, without Etsy, without the Facebook pages. So what I've done is I've opened up, the website is open, and there will be stock going on the website, not just custom sacks, but there'll be Leathermans, there'll be like traditional knives, because Paddy knows I started off doing traditional knives years ago. So I'm going to be having some more American knives coming in, so some Barlows, Case, Buck, Queen's Cutlery, is it Kissing Cranes?
Kissing Cranes,
Kissing Cranes, some Solids and stuff. So there will be more sort of bits and pieces coming in over the website, and anyone knows me will know that will be sort of, if it needs to be ultrasonically cleaned, sharpened, if the blades are loose, they'll be tightened up, or it'll just be junk. I won't sell, I wouldn't sell anything that doesn't sort of pass the mark. So these are now going to be going on the website. Also, I'll still be doing the custom sacks, which has been really busy at the minute. But I won't be doing as much sort of other stuff. It'll just be sort of what's on the website. That if it's there, it's there. If it's not, sort of thing. And
that takes the pressure off an awful lot.
Yeah, it is. And I know there's a lot of makers. I spoke to a lot of sort of custom makers and actual makers and all sorts of suppliers at the Sharp Show. And I think a lot of them were very much doing the same thing as me. No one wants to see that, Stephen. Just the camera, doing the same as me, sort of just is hard at the minute
Yeah.
for everyone, not just for knife makers, but for the leather makers, for everyone. It's a lot of people now have been working in the week doing something, and then sort of doing evening and weekend. So this is what I've been doing. So this is basically what's going to be happening. It's you can still ring, text, message, WhatsApp, email, whatever, and say, "Oh, can I have this built?" But two things: one, it might take a little while, sort of 2, 3, 4 weeks. There's now quite a lot to do, and two, like I said, I won't be getting stuff in for people. If it's on the website, it's on there. If it's not. But it's for customs, yes. But also, I'm going to start doing more different stuff, which I'll start introducing. It's still going to be, pocket knife based and UK carry, all that sort of stuff in the new year. So yeah, the website is open, and I've sort of revamped it, but just not on such a full-time scale. So you can always get my numbers on there, but yeah. So it's
so what's the website, Dan?
it's the same, exactly the same as before. Everything's exactly the same.
What's that?
It's www.bladebridge.co.uk.
Brilliant. That's brilliant.
There is
just when people are watching behind this, they might know you, and it's nice to have you say that out so they'll know where to go.
No problem. There's not, like I said, and if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram or my Etsy shop or website or whatever, I have put a notice to say that there's not a lot of stuff on there at the minute. There's sort of 3 or 4 things, but that will be just where I could load sort of like 20 things a day or 100 at the end of the week. I can't do that anymore because of obviously working on the weekend, the family, and like I said. So, but there will be things on there, and I do have a fair bit of stuff that I don't get a chance to put on there. But it will sort of within the next few months, it will start to sort of grow again, and you'll see sort of stuff every day, every week sort of pop on there. And go from that, And
I think you were really missed when there was a lot of people very disappointed that they couldn't get their sacks. So you've probably made a lot of people very happy, which is great.
I think there's more happy people to see me. He's gone. Get rid of him. He's gone.
I'll have to say hello to EDC. Who else have we got in there that I hadn't seen? Sean, the Radio Geek, and where are we now? I can't follow this. I'll get you sometime. But it's lovely to see you in there. If you've got any questions you want to ask Dan, feel free to put them up, and I'll put them up on the screen for Dan to answer. If you're a sack man, and I know a lot of you boys are sack men. So yeah, continue on, Dan, or are you?
No. I'll talk all day, mate. So I've decided to invest in a jumper. If anyone's noticed.
Look, let me tell you, I really noticed. It's obviously the winter.
Yeah, it's cold now. So
I've really noticed. Oh God, there's more coming. Terry's Knives and Man Stuff. You are very welcome, young fellow. And Randy WSG, he's very, very welcome. You all are welcome. It's great. Join in. So, where did we get to?
Yeah, so I'm still making. But what I will be doing is I'll be doing like a budget range as well. Which is going to be sort of like a custom sack, because a lot of people I speak to, they want stuff, but some of the exotic materials are expensive. When you look at some of the deep engraved brass, it's beautiful, but it's just the amount of time that like just to buy the blanks aren't 2-3 quid. They are probably like 34. I don't know, but because I've never actually bought a blank, so I wouldn't need to, but there's sort of obviously quite a bit of money. And then the time it takes to engrave them or etch them or whatever you're doing. So before you start, you've already put a fair chunk of investment in just some scales, and you've got liners, and you've got tools, what finishes, and everything else that goes with it. And then you're going to want a nice landlord with one of them. Oh, the little brass beads. I can't think what they call them. People have making. So it sort of all adds up. So what I've decided to do, and I've got one here, and I'll give it away at the end, is basically either 84 or 91 mil, either like a Spartan or a Taurus, something like that. It's basically what you'll get is you'll get printed plastic scales, and then you'll get G10 liners. So this is, let me find that camera. This is white G10 with printed plastic, the printed plastic things, and then you'll get obviously this is a tourist, and then you'll get your tools. All this one's like don't know if you can see it or not. This one's sort of like copper washed. So it's been tumbled in brass and copper.
That never comes out as good, but in real life, it's just amazing looking.
Yeah, they look like, when you look at them, you're like, it's when I'm looking at it now, all I can see is just like copper flecks and stuff. They look, and that is that. I don't know if you can see it. I don't want to get the right angle on the cover. That is absolutely super sharp. You know, that shade of blue. No stress. It's got my little logo on there. You get obviously your white G10. You print your plastic, but I'm going to be doing a budget range of these on the website and maybe Etsy. And then
when you say budget, Dan, what sort of price range is budget? Is that 50 and up, or?
Realistically, that's going to be the goal. I've just sort of been playing around with how I can get the materials down and still make the margins are extremely thin. Still make a bit of money, but I actually, to be honest with you, I actually enjoy making them, because where before it was fun and my job. Now it's just fun. Let's make no mistake. I've got a good week job. I'm not sort of, go up against it so this for me now. If I can offer, like, I enjoy building when people get what they want. If I'm going to be doing, so
and the one thing, Dan, that I will say on your behalf, it'll make life so much easier for you, because you can maybe do 10 at once and then put them up on the website. Instead of having to do individual ones. That's fantastic. They're up on the website.
Like, no, I don't really show my stock to people who don't know, but I do have a vast amount of tools and a vast amount of liners, scales, and everything, and acid and different washing methods and stuff like that. So I can quite easily go in my workshop at 9 and by sort of 2 o'clock have 10 of these made and have me lunch and sharpen a few chainsaws with someone. It's not, it's a production line. It's cleaned down every night. It's So it is, but and then I can stick them on the website and say, this is what it is. And you can obviously order extras, but you'll need to let me know. Or that's If it's going to take me sort of 3 hours to make one knife, then it's not going to be a budget.
Yes, obviously, yes. But I think Sean's on there asking a question. We need to get Dan to build a version of the Ask knife. What do you think? That's Ghost Malone, Sean from Ghost Malone. He was on the week before last, I think. He's a representative for Medford, who does the American service knife, which again is it's made to take apart. They're all screwed together. Have you seen them yet?
No, I don't think I have.
Go on to Medford. You know Medford I'm talking about, Medford knives?
Yeah.
He does all them big knives, but he does this Ask knife, American service knife, and it's like a pimped up version of a Swiss Army knife. They're not in the same category. I mean, this one costs about $240. So, I mean, it's not a cheap, and it's got M390 blades and things like that.
I think I have seen these, yeah.
They're worth having a look at. He's saying he wondered if you could do one. There's just no way you can compete with something like that because of the blade stock and everything. I mean, it's not something you can sort of go to. Your customs are what I would call the higher end sex, as good as you're going to get. But you can't increase the blade thicknesses and things like that.
No, I mean, I can put different blades on them. And I do get asked all the time, you put a spider cut blade on it, and can you do this and can you do that? And I know it sounds strange. I'm not really interested in that. It doesn't really give me a kick. I have done it for people, and one thing, it's just not something yet that there is things happening in the future. But it's not. So we're going to be. I'm going to start customizing other brands of knives, because anyone knows me. I don't use screws. I peen everything.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you're very much a traditional man.
Yeah. So there'll be other stuff coming out. I don't need to. Yeah. I wouldn't even know how to screw them together.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah.
Right, Terry. By the way, thanks for joining, Nigel. You're very welcome. You are a traditional man with peening, and your peening is just damn sexy, if I say so myself. It really is. It's so good, though. You taught yourself in no time how to do that. Yeah. I can remember you first sort of starting it, and it was just unbelievable how quickly you picked that up. And poor Justin was absolutely jealous as hell when he first showed him.
Sometimes I show him naked.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But it's just, I mean, I must have done I've done a lot of repairs as well, not just
Yeah.
not just customs. And I must have done, like last year, probably 400 like repairs and customs and stuff like that. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask Dan a question now, and you and yourselves here in the talk box here. I'm going to ask Dan, what's his favorite sack? And I want you to put your favorite sack up and see how we go with favorite sacks. What's your favorite sack, Dan?
Do you know what? It's probably going to be like a Sportsman. So that's an 84 mil with a obviously a main blade, and then you get a file instead of a instead of a pen blade, and on the back it's got corkscrew all, and then it's got the cap lifter and tin opener. That's it. Very small, basic, and I like putting them with brass liners and Mark scales. That's my favorite. That's my favorite to sell. It's my favorite to make, and my favorite to use. They're just very strong, versatile. The brass adds the weight. The micarta adds the cotton adds a natural touch to it. You can dye them. You can high polish them. I like acid wash, but again, it doesn't really last. It's more of just a nice effect. But then I just like a really razor sharp edge on it, and that's it. And I carry that, use it at work. I use the nail for everything. They're such a good because they're pointy, but they're not. But then when you stab yourself, they won't go in. So they're good for scraping out stuff, doing your nails, or filing a little something. Or I just find them very versatile. Such a small 84 mil traditional. Yeah.
I'm the same. I love the 84 mil. I've one that it was actually what do you call that other fella? Justin. Yeah, Justin made for me, put the eyeglasses and the screwdriver, the Phillips in it for me. I just constantly use it because it's the things that I use. And that's the nice thing about so did you see that about Sean put up there? That's his wife likes his peening.
Yeah, I saw that.
The compact, there we go. There's somebody else that's got good taste. Oh, let me go.
Yeah, the compact. I'm very much, I'm very much liking this compact because I know I'm going to get shot down for this, but I don't see the point in the big 8-10 layer sacks. And the cyber tools are nice, but when I do a few cyber tool customs, is people say just give me main blade, combo tool, pliers, scissors, cyber tool, and it's quite thick. It's nice. That's about the maximum I would ever. I like the 2-3 layer ones max, but that's, I think once you start getting all the stuff from them, they become too big. And sometimes people carry like a Swiss champ and an 84 mil, or a Swiss champ and a Spartan, or your compact. But
I have the Swiss champ, but I would put that in my bag if I'm going.
Yeah.
If going camping or something, I'll throw it in there. And 9 times out of 10, I'll not even use it, but I have the tools there if I need it. It sits in the top there, and it's like things I just throw in the bag, just in case. Again,
a lot of what I get us to do is like a compact, and then trash the liners, put brass liners in, and change the corkscrew for a Phillips. The only thing I'd say about changing the corkscrew for the Phillips is you lose the ability to put your eyeglass in there, or like a fire flit or whatever you put in there. That's
the flint and steel, and you can put in that is really handy. The trouble is with them, they're so flipping expensive to buy them little tiny things for lighting a fire. I just think they're so expensive.
Yeah.
To me, I just wouldn't do it because I always take cotton wool balls in a wee tub of Vaseline, and that's enough for me to light fires for the next year. Do you know what I mean? At about what a pound cost.
Yeah.
So that's what I would tend to do more than anything else.
Or just a lighter, It's just
Kathleen Smith, you're very welcome. Welcome to the podcast. And we were just asking Kathleen, what's your favorite sack? Do you like sacks? Have you got one? And what's your favorite? I think Paddy sent me a Victorinox model to try. Yes, I am. No, is it Victorinox? It's where'd I put it? Oh, here it is. There we go. Yeah, that's a Victorinox. I'm sending this one over to a boy in America, Sean, who's a very good friend of mine, and he's lined me up to get hopefully I'm going to get one of these Army service knives from Medford. Hopefully I'm going to get one of them from from them to review and doing my channel. So I'm really excited about that. Because recently I've got into sacks. Since I met you and Justin, I've got so many sacks are coming out my ears. But I've also got into Leathermans, and I love the Leatherman. And ever since I got the ratchet tool for the Leatherman, and then I've got two sets of screwdrivers and Torx bits. Have you got one of those, the ratchets for the Leatherman?
No, I'm not crazy on them, but I really like this Leatherman, like, because it's just so small, the skeletal, and it's just so. It's nice.
It has the wee screwdrivers, done it in the back.
Yeah, this one's got Allen keys on it for some reason, but yeah, you can obviously buy the different bits, and then you
can stick this in there as well, and you can get I bought the 2 strips of Torx, Allen, just everything.
Yeah, they are the Leathermans, and I like the smaller Leathermans because they're so strong. The pliers are generally useful, and then you can get right in on something if you need to, and sort of hold them funny. They are good. I'm a big Leatherman fan as well, but not. I had the Mutt, which is, I don't know, that's one for sort of, because I used to do a lot of airsoft. It used to have all the bits to do the knock the pins out on the stuff like that. But that's a very big. Mine was sort of brown colour, but that is nice. But again, it's a backpack job. It's not a sort of like that will slip in with, these sort of knives will slip into your pocket. Yeah, no problem. But, and I do like bigger knives. It's just, we can't really carry them in the UK, as everyone knows. And 2, when do you actually really get charged? I mean, if you're going, in the camping or going into the forest, or you're doing something particularly, or involving a lot of cutting or something, then sure, I'd love a fixed blade. But I just don't see in my day-to-day commuting to work and back use for anything other than just this. I think I'd put that in my work bag, so that's my Leatherman carry, and then I just put something similar to that in my pocket. And I'm happy. But that doesn't need to be a sack. That could be a case Stockman trap. I'm really big fan of the trapper with the spay blade. But I prefer the old cases, like ones you get from like the 70s and stuff like that. I don't know why, but I like them ones. And the jig bone's nice. You get some nice colours. And then they sort of, sometimes you can get almost up to the full length of them as well, where some of the sacks, especially on the 84, the blades are a little small, and the steel's quite soft on the sack. Where if you get like a nice trap or a nice case or a jack, or if you want to really treat yourself like a Jack Wolf knife or something, then you got a decent one. But I don't know if I'd want to take a Jack Wolf knife to work with. What if you lose it, someone nick it, or you damage it? You ain't gonna be.
I sort of agree with you, but I just think sacks and the likes of a Jack Wolf knife are a completely different family of things.
100%.
Sack to me is a knife that everybody in the knife community can have. Yes, the blade's not sharp, but you can take your belt off and get it sharp in a couple of seconds, as long as you don't completely blunt it.
The website is just bladebridge.co.uk.
Yeah, that was a question up there. Did you get that, Ghost Malone? And are you on IG? Instagram?
Yeah, on Instagram is Bladebridge Customs. On Facebook as Bladebridge Customs. On website is just bladebridge.co.uk. And I'm on Etsy as Vintage Tool Goods, which is a bit. I used to sell I do a lot of stuff up. I don't just do knives. I just repair. As Paddy and I repair chainsaws, repair loads of stuff. So, and my main job is to repair coffee machines as well. So I just repair stuff. That's
yeah. I just ordered. Okay. I'm just sorry. I'm just reading these comments, Dan. I am so slow. Yeah, they got all that. So, yeah, I mean, I would love to carry a Leatherman every day, but the only large Leatherman they've all got lock and blades, the one that I would want to carry. So, if I'm going up to, say, one of the kids' houses to do a bit of work or something, I'll just throw it in my pocket because I've got a reason for doing it. But I wouldn't put it on my belt and get it visibly shown. I would stick it in my overcoat or put it in my tool bag or something to take up with me. But I like the locking knives on the Leathermans. And I don't know why, because I have absolutely no fear of a slip joint, whether it's got a weak or a strong detent. As long as you're using it properly, it's not going to close on you. It's only when you muck up that something happens, and that happens with every knife. The Leatherman squirt, Paul put up the Leatherman squirt. I love the little Leatherman squirt. I think it is a fantastic little tool.
I'm not a fan. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of the squirt. the other little Leathermans they do. This for me, I'm not saying they were very good quality and they were fantastic keeping all that stuff. They hold a good edge.
Yeah.
This is the perfect size for me. They did do one in between, didn't they? It's the sort of goes like that, isn't it? Is it P4? Not P4.
Yeah. No, that's the Leatherman Squirt. You've the PS4 and.
Oh no, the Squirt is the bigger one, isn't it? My apologies. I thought the Squirt was the tiny one, but it's the one in between this, isn't it?
No, the Squirt's a tiny one. Then you've got the all silver version, which is bigger, but I can't think what it's called.
You know what I mean? You saw the one just down. It's a little bit smaller than the skeletal. I don't mind them. They're all right. But the keyring ones, I'm not a fan because I always cut myself.
You know what I use them for? It's the pliers for picking small things up because of my clumsy old hands. Like screws, when I'm doing a breakdown or something, I'll always sit one beside me because it's not a big Leatherman. I can just pick things up. And I'll tell you, when I used to camp, I used to have one for lifting my pots off. Because once you squeeze that on, you can just lift your pots up. Dead handy, takes up no room. So I love things like that now. There we go. There's quite a few of them put up. The Sidekick is perfect for me. I haven't tried the Sidekick.
The Sidekick's nice. That's like the Wingman, the Sidekick. There's about 4 in the same range. They're like, you'd know it if you saw it. That's like I think you get scissors. I think the Wingman you get scissors and a blade.
Yeah.
The Sidekick you might get like a metal file or something. They just got. I think they've got different outside. They're a really good range. They're really strong made. They're not too heavy. The pliers are really nice on them. I think they've got the spring pliers in them. Haven't they? Is that the range there?
Well, if it's the Wave range, no, because the Wave hasn't got springs in it.
No, and that's quite heavy and bulky. So they do. I think is it the. I think they do the Sidekick, the Wingman, and there's a couple of others, but of the same sort of range. They're really nice though, and they're so cheap as well. They're like even new. They're like 59 quid or something, 50 quid.
Yeah. I the Leatherman Wave's gone up a right bit now. It's about £100 for a Leatherman Wave now.
Yeah, but that is quite a big one. I think you get don't you get a better steel on the Leatherman Wave on the
No, we get 420.
Oh dear. No.
Yeah,
it's got like you get the open sort of 4 ways the wave, doesn't it? So you get like a main blade, a scissors, a file, and so
you get a file, a saw, a diamond file as well, which is fantastic. Because if you're stuck and you've blunted your EDC knife badly, that diamond file really does bring them back. Just lean very, very lightly because the diamond stones are not really embedded like a proper shortening block. It just go. What do you think of the new Leatherman that's got the not Maximate, the tactile turn? What's it called? MagnaCut, the new Leatherman Arc, which has MagnaCut steel on the blade. In fact, all the tools are made of MagnaCut steel.
Not seen it.
It's just come out literally in the last couple of weeks there. I have a tactile turn that's got MagnaCut on it. It's the new super steel because it's not the hardest in the world. It doesn't last as long, but it does all the 3 things that a blade should do, but always one has got one. They've got 2 that are maybe good, and one of them, like, it's rust resistant, nearly corrosion resistant. Its wear resistance is fantastic. It holds an edge for ages, and it's a good hard steel, a good tough steel. It's just, and I've been using this now for about 6 months. Like, this is as thin as you like, but by God, is it fantastic steel, and it takes an edge. You can strop this back. I mean, how many high-end steels that you can just strop back on a normal leather strop? No diamond paste or nothing. This will still strop back. It's super. It really is I've actually got another one. I just got the Boker version of it, which is fantastic. But yeah, it's definitely the best steel I've ever come across so far. Now, again, I'm no genius with steels, but I really do like it.
I just see someone put about the Vic multi-tool never gets any love. Now, I just gave up promoting it because you put the Victorinox next to the Leatherman, you would just throw the Leatherman in the bin, and that's the honest truth. They
I
are.
remember you saying that.
Yeah, because they got the, and I prefer the older one. Oh, do you know what the names are called? What are they called? They're just called Swiss tools, aren't they? And the old one was quite boxy, but you
Yeah.
open it up and you could drive a lorry over that any direction you wanted, upwards, downwards, and it would just still be the same. It just indestructible. You never get any. The blades stay reasonably sharp. It's normal sack steel, obviously, but it's just so well built. It's strong. Like Leathermans, you can buy these new with spot rust on all the time. I see it all the time. People complaining. You'll never buy a Swiss tool with rust on it. Just never. Never.
I've never tried one, Dan. To be honest, yeah. I think they're a bit more expensive, aren't they? Though.
Yeah, I think the Skelly, the Swiss tool, the modern one, where it's got like a nice curve in it. Yeah. I think you can get it with a box with the ratchet set and stuff, like the full Monty. I think it's a couple of £100, but it is absolutely premium product. Yeah, it's I'm not
that's the sign of the times. There's not as many people are willing to spend that extra £50 to get that full set compared to a wave with a full set. But people are scrimping and saving on them £50 by just getting the more basic, like we're saying about customs. People would love to get a custom, but they want the more budget end customs. I know that doesn't make sense, but somewhere it's around sort of. You're going from 50 to 150. If you can do budget knives in different categories in that range, that are custom made, and they can be done. You know what I mean? Like you were saying about the sacks, getting a custom sack for 50+ quid or whatever, that's a fantastic option.
Yeah, but in all fairness, that's only because I can mass produce.
And yes, yeah.
There's
and you're not an overcharger.
Yeah, well, yeah, but anything you get from me will be mind your fingers. That'll be absolutely razor sharp. That's what I've been trying to do is just get more of a budget range in, because I think what I normally try and think, what do I want? And I ask people, what do you want? And at the minute is if the economy is quite bad, isn't it? So a lot of people say, oh, I would like something nice, but I can't afford it. So I found a way to sort of make a nice happy medium where we can make, like you said, 10 sacks on a Saturday, all small ones, with pretty much choose what colour you want. Yeah, no problem.
I was just reading a comment there from Ghost Malone, Sean, and he was saying having the fancy steel. I can never remember the name of this steel. MagnaCut. I can never remember that name. Having the MagnaCut name on a fancy new titanium Leatherman, it really is just hyping. It's more for hype than anything else, because I don't know. Now, maybe I'm wrong on this. You can fill me in, and I know you will. To be quite honest, the knife on a Leatherman is probably the thing that I use the least, because I always have a knife on me. I'm not going to take a big Leatherman out to cut something when I've got a pocket knife in my pocket. You know what I mean? If I'm doing a job and I need something cut while I'm doing it, yeah, I'll use the Leatherman. But I would never think of taking the Leatherman out to use a knife. It's always the pliers or the other tools that I want on there, like a file. So having it in 420 doesn't really bother me in the slightest, I have to say. Yeah, although I was tempted to get one just for the sake of being a knife snob.
No, but I'm with you on that, Paddy. I take a Leatherman for the pliers. That is it. All the other tools on it, because the Leatherman pliers are amazing. It's just,
I just got a new Booker. Of all people to come out with an absolutely fantastic bargain was Booker, because sometimes Booker would be quite expensive. They've just brought out this slip joint here. It's in my Carta. It has a deep carry clip that's in the top, and you can swap it over if you're left-handed. And it has, look at this blade. This blade to me is sexy. Look at that blade for a working blade. Do you know what I mean? Lovely swedge on top. That's in MagnaCut. They're selling this for £113. I just think to have that blade steel, just an amazing bargain. If you're looking for a Christmas present and you want to get your knife friend the best steel that's out there, in my opinion, get that for £113 from Booker. Honestly, I've been using it this week. It's absolutely fantastic steel. And again, strops like a dream. It's a high-end powdered steel that strops like a 420.
But Boca used to use a lot of N690, didn't they? I don't
Well,
mind.
they use N690 now on most of their pen knives, but they used to use 440C a lot. I can remember the old Bokers in 440C, but they also use 01 tool steel, which is the ones I've got 2 of them in 01 tool steel, which is flipping fantastic. Again, I'm like you. I like the carbon steels more than anything else. But when I seen that for that price, I thought that's the cheapest in the world, I think, with a Maximate blade on it. So well done, Boker. Keep it going. Paddy, does the Boker have a hollow grind, or is it? No, it's a saber grind. It's a saber grind. I'm sure it's flat. Yeah, it's flat. It's a flat grind, but it's a high saber. And it's got a good sturdy end on it, good sturdy tip. I'll put that up, but it's not needle thin. You can actually do a bit of work with this, if you wanted to. It's in a perfect EDC knife. It's not super slicey and it's not super hard. It's just in that middle for most of the jobs you're going to do in your daily life. But 113 with Maximate, sorry, that's a bargain. And it's Rockwell to 62 to 63, which is fantastic for an EDC knife to have that sort of Rockwell in a knife. So the longevity of it is fantastic as well. It's just, honestly, I really do. That would be the knife I'd recommend to anybody who's going to buy this Christmas, especially for a knife lover. I mean, I'm a knife lover. Blade steels don't really matter to me because I can sharpen, but I do like to have the high-end blade steels to use and review, and also there's a wee bit of a snob in me, just a tiny wee bit. But there we go. We all have problems.
Tiny bit or all the time?
Well, SYS prank. Well done, Paddy. Does a bit. What was that question I answered for you? Yeah, it's a saber grind and it's a flat grind.
I like the saber grind. I wish more people did it, especially on folders and stuff like that.
Yeah, it is nice. It really is.
You can have allowing a thick spine. You can have a really thick spine. You could have a 5mm spine with a saber grind, come down on like an elephant's foot or something like that, and you can have the tip like a razor blade, and you've just got so much stock to keep sharpening. You've got strength.
I like the saber grind and the hollow grind. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
For what I do. I mean, I don't do a lot of slicing of tomatoes on a daily basis with my pocket knife. Paper thin tomato cuts. I don't need them. I just want something to cut. And if it's sharp, all the better. But a hollow grind gives me what I need for doing. Now, if I was to go outside and use a hard use tool, like give me a hard use tool. I've got one here. Where is it? Oh, it's in my pocket. It was my carry today. There we go. There's my hinderer. I mean, this is a big, thick blade. It doesn't come down to a super thin edge, but, give me a bit of receipt paper. It still cuts. You don't hear it come through it. And it's S35VN. Again, probably not the best steel in the world, but do me for everything. So, yeah. I mean, the hype train is one of the biggest things that keeps the knife industry going, because you can bring out the same knife. Take Spyderco, for example. They've had the same sort of knives for, what is it now, 50, 60 years? They hardly ever bring out a new model unless it's like a sprint run. It's only out, it's expensive, and, the collectors buy them. But they're normal knives that haven't changed. The only thing they change is the blade steel. And as the new blade steel comes out, they put it onto their knives, charge you extra. It's just a absolute money spinner for them. I have the Rat 2. Yeah, the Rat 2 is a super hard working knife. I have a Rat 1 there that still is an Aussie 8, because I don't see the point of changing it for D2, because Aussie 8 does me for what I want to do, and I just sharpen it when it goes blunt. Go ahead, Dan. I'm doing too much talking here.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to pick up on some comments, guys. Sorry. I'm just gonna look at some. Boca has some great. Boca has some great. Yeah, I'm a massive Boca fan. Like massive. I like their, because they do like Boca Italian, obviously Soligen in Germany, which is the top range, isn't it? But the Italian, USA, Chinese. So
I'm not sure if they still do USA made. I have a USA made one, but I don't know whether they still make them in the USA now. Again, I could be wrong.
No, I think you're right, but they did have, because they had like
they did that. No, they had factories all over the place. Japan, China.
Yeah, and you could pick up, but you find that certain factories only do certain things in certain countries, and it's nice to sometimes get something and be like, you know what, that's really nice, and you get it, and it's sort of like the G10 handles, and it might be a frame lock, so it's all just scales and stuff like that in G10 with a nice sort of like the N690 or what are they using? It's nice. I think with them you'll find a lot of stuff you're like, oh no, I don't like that, or it's too cheap, or I don't like the blade steel, or I don't like this, or I don't like that.
Yeah.
But because they've got such a vast range of such a vast quality as well, you've got from real cheap sort of Chinese budget, you can pick up like the Tech Tool or the other one for like 15-20 quid new.
Yeah, you can beat it.
Right the way up to sort of like the German stuff for sort of like £200-300, £400, whatever it is. But sometimes there's a hidden middle with them as well. What I was just saying is, if you pick up the sort of made in Italy, made in USA, made here, you get quite cool combos, and sometimes they have a nice sort of light stone wash on them and stuff like that. I just think they've, apart from Victorinox, they probably one of that and more. I'm not going to count CRKT and stuff like that. I'm going to just leave it with Boca, because I think they've got such a vast range of stuff. They've been making knives 1820
making knives as long as we have, basically.
Yeah, there's a couple of 100 years, and I think people
they've been making it, at a good range, at a good level of knives for hundreds of years, and not every knife company can say that about.
No, I mean they've got multi-tools, they've got like CRKT do some wacky stuff, don't they? But so do Boca. They do some pretty experimental stuff. If you look back at what they've done in time as well, and
CRKT and Kershaw are probably the leaders in doing the more wacky shapes, but they're keeping them at a reasonable price.
Yeah, very reasonable.
CRKT are a better price than Kershaw, but that's because you got the ZT influence, and you'll get an awful lot of the ZT models used to come from the Kershaw range, because it's Kai, the company is Kai. So
but I think I was gonna say, I think coming back to like the Saxon stuff, I do think that Victorinox should do something a little bit. I mean, they brought out that abomination, that one that looked like the rocks and the mountains and stuff like that. I mean, like, what were you doing?
That was a disaster. I've never heard anybody talk about that.
No, we won't talk about it. What they should have done is done something. I'm not saying do like Kershaw and CRKT, make something wacky, but they could. It wouldn't have been hard for them to change something nicely, or put a new tool in, or just something. But I'm finding with Sax lately, Victorinox, that they're not really doing much. They're not like, they're just sort of just sitting they're just riding the golden goose, isn't they? Which is
let me tell you, they've been riding that golden goose for years now, and. Why would you buy new machines and new cutting bits and new whatever when you're selling millions every year? They're selling because they're in a price range and they're useful tools. People are just keep buying them.
Yeah, I know, but it's
not up behind. They'll just follow their dad, and they just, it's like the case collectors in America. They're just completely case. Doesn't matter the fact that some of them come really badly made. If you're a case collector, that's it. You're just.
I don't know. Case do some sort. This is what we're saying. I like the older stuff, because you can get like the jigged bone, and some of them they're just when they're made well, and when they brought by Zippo case. Isn't that when the problem started? But before all that rubbish, you could get some seriously nice. Like, I love the USA like case with the jig bone and the different. There's a beautiful green. You got the beautiful blues. You got the amber. It's just the colours.
Look at the stag on that one there. That's an older one. I bought this brand new in box last week. Lovely, beautiful Barlow. Yeah, double bladed Barlow. But the stag on it is absolutely. The fit and finish is amazing. And I do tend to find that a lot with the older ones, that their fit and finish was more consistently better. But I mean, I still buy case, but I like to see them first, or I want to buy it off a friend who'll tell me if there's gaps, because I really don't want. I have a case collection of about 18 knives, and they're all flipping perfect. but because I've picked and choose, where I get them. And I think that's what you have to do with case, because when they're good, I think they do the bone better than anybody in the world.
And I like the old charades, like the old timers and stuff like that. I think they're amazing. But before they were brought up like Chinese, whatever they are now. But the older stuff, I really like them as well. With the it's the Delrin, isn't it? Like what do you call that pattern? The
Cut Delrin.
Cut Delrin. I like it on the Remingtons.
Absolutely
really
fantastic.
On the charade old timers again, they were nice carbon steel. Like you can get a crazy edge on them. Like, absolutely. Yeah. I like all of them, but now I just think they're just junk. Like
two of my favorite case knives is the medium Stockman in carbon steel, and the Sodbuster in carbon steel. They'll do you anything for you, anything, and they'll come back for more.
The Sodbuster is a great knife. Like I love the Sodbuster, and you can get a wicked. I've got a couple of Instagram videos on that. You can get a razor sharp edge, but you can take away a lot of stock off of them and still have. They've got a perfect grind on them. They're not. I know that. I think the spine's probably only like a couple of mil to start with. It's quite a thin spine, but when they come down to the edge, there's so much you can take off of them before you got like with the Openal. There's so much you can take off of the blade before but with some of the sacks and other things in the cases and stuff, I find that it's quite a thick grind. So once you've taken a little bit off of it, you've really got to start. And I'm talking about more the stainless steel stuff as well, not the high carbon. But once you get like that with a case or whatever, and it's stainless steel, once you've gone past your first mil or two, you can never sort of, unless you really lay it flat and grind away the actual blade itself, the stock of the blade itself. I find with like Openal and things like that, you can really just grind, just keep going. The Sodbuster is the one we're talking about. You can take so much material off the Sodbuster. You can have it like 10, 20 years, use it on a farm, go to it, and it's got like 3 mil missing off it, but you can still get a wicked edge.
Still working, yeah.
Yeah, it just keep. It's a gift that just keeps giving. And what's a Sodbuster like? $15, $20, something like that.
Yeah, about $35 or something. I think.
It's nothing,
something like that. But it's just somebody actually agreed with me, so I thought I'd put them up. It never happens to me very often. If you're case knives, just be careful where you're buying them from. Make sure you know the person. Buy them secondhand is my best option, because you'll get people selling them new, But as long as somebody you trust who's going to tell you what the fit and finish is like. Look, blade centering is another thing. I don't know where I should get into this now, but I'm going to. Blade centering. Everybody is obsessed with the blade coming straight down the middle. Look, that's modern knives that have got modern machinery who are built to these very, very tight tolerances. Traditional knives are not built like that. It's a completely different. This is somebody with a hand peeling the bloody thing. I mean, you can't always just get that right down the center. As long as it's not rubbing, I could care less. And I really don't even care sometimes, unless it's a very high value one. But on a basic EDC, if it rubs, so what? It's not going to do much.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you there, like Paddy. Like, what do you expect? Like, you buy a Jack Wolf knife, you're going to get perfection, like absolute perfection.
Exactly. But you're going to pay £275 for the privilege. Brilliant, blade steel, everything is brilliant.
You buying a £30, Arthur Wright knife. They're made by hand.
Yeah, and let me tell you, they'll last you probably longer than any other knives because they're sturdy knives. They may not be the most gloriously attractive knives. I mean, the cheaper versions. Do you know what I mean? When you're just getting a rosewood, rosewood, I think, is a beautiful wood. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous wood. In fact, it's becoming an endangered species now. Did you know that? Rosewood is an endangered species. It really is hard to get rosewood now. But they're just work knives. They're knives to take out and cut something. They're not to show your best friend, oh, look what I've got. I've had plenty of them knives, and I love doing that. But I'm not going to bring a basic 38-pound Arthur Wright out and say, wow, look at this. I might tell him, you want a knife that works? Take that. That's what I would say.
But my favourite all time is actually is Buck 110.
You see, I didn't get on with it. No,
beautiful.
It's just too big and lumpy. I'm never going to carry that about.
Ignoring all of that, ignoring the UK law, ignoring everything else. If you get a great buck and it's had a nice heat treatment on it, you can get a razor edge on it. It's just a workhorse, isn't it? Like I've seen them like 50 years old where there's basically no blade on it, and I'm like, how good is it? It's just for the. Like, I don't even know what they are. What's a new one like? $80, something like that, is it? $100, something.
Yeah, somewhere around about 70 odd pound here. So
that's it. Where are you going to get? What can you get for £70 that's going to be like that? Really?
It's a fantastic older knife. What I don't agree with is being told that it's a traditional knife. I'm sorry, it's not a traditional knife. It came in the 60s, for goodness sake. Are we going to say Spyderco's traditional knives because they got a lockback? No, that's just a Paddy thing. They make a lovely traditional pocket knife, but a buck 110 is not a traditional. I don't believe it's traditional. I believe it's it's only come out in was it 61 or something? It came out, something like that. But the same as Spyderco's when they came out with a lockback. I just don't get it. But that's me because I'm half crazy. The purple barn is talking too good to pass up on sale. Oh, that barn board looks nice now, I have to say. Thrifty Kniffy, you're welcome to the show. Slipjoint Sawyer. What do you think? What do you think that lockback, Larry? Well, I don't know. He's talking to somebody else. American Maid's in there as well. Lockback Larry. 110 is not a traditional. It's an American tradition. That's the perfect way to put it. That is perfect. It's an American tradition. Just like the British Barlow. It's a traditional, although it is a traditional knife, but if you're going to talk about it, it's a tradition that people have used for years because it works. Like the lamb's foot, the sheep's foot. 112 is even better. Yeah, and it's another in that tradition. But they are tradition knives that a country was made on, if you like. They were built on these sort of knives.
But every film you watch, American film, boy, and if they've got a knife on the belt and they're in the woods, it's a buck 110. And it's just, it's just I think it's a statement, isn't it? It's just a nice. I just really like them because they're strong in the hand. Like, all right, you're never going to EDC one in the UK, are you? But if I lived in America, I would EDC a buck 110 over any flash Spyderco, over anything else, over anything that flicks, sings, dances, shoots bullets. I would have a buck 110.
There's a lot of bushcrafters over here in the UK that use the buck 110 solely. I've never said it's not a good knife. I think it's fantastic. So what if it's 420 steel? If you want to get S30V, pay for the dearer one.
Yeah, but it's so easy to sharpen. It's a couple just drop it and it's razor sharp again. It's very easy to work with. It's got a nice thick spine. It's got a beautiful clip. You can get in there. You can really work it. You can sort of shave. I suppose you could take skin off a deer if you needed to. You could break up. You could break into a bone with it. You could whittle with it. There's always you get sticks done with it and everything. But it's sort of one of them you can stab into the mud. Pull it out, use it again, do your meat with it. It's just such a strong, versatile knife with like a big history to it. That's why I like it. Like if I could carry something, that is what I carry because I know, tried and tested, it's going to be reliable. The springs basically never snap. That you don't really get any play with them. And I'm talking something you use daily for a long time. They just take a good hiding. And I think for that £70, $80, whatever it is. Yeah. You can't find a better knife. And to me, it is a traditional knife, isn't it? Because, we've been making knives a really long time in Sheffield and stuff like that. But I think for a USA-made knife, I think that is like a traditional knife.
Yeah. It's a knife. It's an American tradition knife. I mean, it's very much. And like, let's be honest, if we go back to Bowie's, it was us that sent them over to America in the first place. We started sending them over and then they took over and made them better and cheaper than we could, which is fair play. Then you lose them. So, I mean, but we done all that, in the beginning, and we let our knife companies just go to rack and ruin, or they let themselves. They didn't keep up with the amount of the quality of knives in America then became much better, and nobody was going to buy a British one because it was never made as well. Well, maybe that's not exactly true, but there we go.
Brian, I don't have a 112 locker, sorry.
That's probably the one. I had the buck 110, but it was too big. I wouldn't have even carried it out in the woods. I just didn't get it. But the 110 or the 112 is probably, if I was to get another one, that would be the one that I would get probably. And I've heard so much good things about it.
Oh, they do. What's the drop point one of that called as well?
Yeah, they do a buck 110 on the drop point. Yeah, like Kniffy there, he got one from the custom shop, and he got the drop point one. I think this year was the year before, and he got the custom one. And my gosh, is it good looking? It is just gorgeous. I think he got his in stag too, or elk. It was beautiful. Too manly for Paddy. Thrifty, you are right. I'm a pussy. I'm a pussy. But you know, I'm laughing about saying the weight. I mean, there's my hinder. That's not a light thing either. I mean, it's a fair chunk of a knife, you know. So I mean, it's not that I don't like carrying heavy knives. It's just I don't know what it is. I just don't get it as much, you know. But then again, I'm paying for this, whereas a buck 110 and get for 70 quid, and it's 300 odd pound for one of these.
Do you know what I might do? I mean, I've got a spare time with a few months. I might get an old buck. I might make it not traditional. I think I'll replace the wood with kieranite, take the blade off, stone wash it in like brass, file the back, and then put a razor edge on it and polish all the brass up. I think that would look amazing with like a dark. Is it graphite kieranite, like the black one with the swirls in it? That'd be easy. I could cut that out, put them in, replace the wood that's on there.
Now, I would pay to see that.
Pin it through some brass or some nickel silver. I think that would look amazing.
So Kathleen was asking a question earlier on there. Where's the best place to buy knives? Kathleen, where are you living? Are you in the UK or are you over across the pond? It's just I like to help people because that is my most asked question on my channel. You know, in the chat box is, Paddy, where do you get your knives? It's
YouTube. Did you get them off YouTube? Your knives, Paddy?
Yeah, I just buy knives. Well, yeah, I get a few, but it's funny. I only have about 3 people that send me knives, and you'd think I was getting my whole collection. But it's over here in the UK. The best place to get it is on either Facebook groups, which I think are the best because they're run a bit. You know, there's quite a few in it. They'll stop scammers coming on. They'll catch them really quickly. And there's so many different ones, though. You need to just go on. If you go on Facebook and type in the knife that you like, or the brand you like, and they'll come up with a group that does them.
Can I just reply to a Ghost Malone EDC? I'll send you 2 buck 112s if you send one back with that treatment. Yeah, send them. I'll do it for you, no problem.
And he would.
Yeah, I will. That's fine. Yeah, send them. I'll just do it as a project. I can't, like I said, because I'm working in the week and stuff at the minute. I can't. It won't be like a 2-week service. You might have to wait like a little while, like 6 weeks or something. But I will get onto that. But you take the scales, or put kieranite on and stuff, no problem. But yeah, send it. If anyone wants anything doing like that, yeah, it's fine. But like I said, because I've already got quite a lot of work on, and we're working in the week and stuff, I don't have that experimental time as much. But I'm happy to do stuff for people. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, there you go. USA, she said. Well, at USA, you're lucky because over there it's just amazing to get secondhand knives. We don't get anywhere near the choice that you would over there. I'm sure the boys are helping you out there. I don't know about TK or Ghost Malone, but I'm not calling Paddy a wish with that hinder in his hand. Byron, the only difference between me and a madman with a hinder is I am a wuss. I don't like fighting. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
You'd fight for a burger, though, wouldn't you? You take one up.
I'd fight you for a burger, yeah.
If there was a burger, you'd rolling on the floor, wouldn't you?
A 10-ounce steak and I'll eat you.
Yeah, no, you just wave a steak in front of him and he's a different person. Give me that steak, give me that food.
Like the fool.
Yeah. Yeah, we should have seen the queue when we went to the Sharp Show. Paddy was just pushing people out of the way. Burger stall, come on, burger stalls are getting away. Burger stalls here. Oh.
Randy just said no. Paddy is a wolf. Yep, that's correct. Getting DC in Germany, something new or secondhand. Getting a GEC in Germany sucks. New or second hand. Yeah. Well, I mean, to get a GEC at a not a ridiculous price, it's a little bit dearer than they are in America. But if you go to Mike's Knives in the UK, just go into Mike's Knives and send him a text on his on mikeknives.co.uk and just send him an email and ask, tell him what he has in stock. He does get the newest models in, and the only way to get them is to be first. Everybody puts, whoever wants one, sends him an email that I want this, and it comes in, a new model. And ours is normally about 3 to 4 weeks after they get released in America. So you have got a bit of a bit of time. Send him an email that put you on the list, and then if you're in that list, because he never knows how many he's going to get, but whatever he gets, if you're on that list, you'll get them. There's no preference given to anybody. You just have to be on the list. So if you go on to the GEC website, find out when they're being released, get the email to him straight away. And he sells them. Obviously, he has to pay tax, coming across the shuck. But then he'll post it to Germany for you. So it is going to cost you a bit more, but it's not going to be stupid prices that you get in the secondhand market in America. It's buying a GEC here is cheaper than buying in America on the secondhand market.
Because we're tight.
Yeah, no, people, I try to sell them all the time. People say, I can't get a GEC. So I put it on the same price I paid for. Nobody will give me that. So I just keep them because I'm not going down in price for a GEC. They're too good to sell them cheap.
Oh, if Thrifty or Matt can message me after the show as well, because I've got some bits for them for their show. So
yeah, Thrifty and Matt, did you get that? Give the madman give Dan a ring a text after the show, and he'll sort you out. And if anybody's just new to the channel and maybe doesn't know Dan, I mean, myself and Justin have known him for years. He is as solid as they come. If he says he's going to do it, he'll do it. So you have no problem whatsoever. And he'll post them to the States, and he doesn't send it high expensive post. You'll get it the cheapest way he can get it to you. Isn't that right, Dan?
No, I'd rather subsidise it because I'd rather know it gets there. So I will send that.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
We'll send that the track.
He sends mine by stagecoach. Only takes about 5 weeks.
I send yours by horse and cart. Irish pony, mate.
Yep. Now, saying that, I have an apology to make to somebody, and I want to do it live. I've still got your knife here, but I'm going to post it tomorrow. I promise.
That was for Limitless Engraver, Thomas. If anyone knows him, he does a lot of engraving for me as well. Really nice guy. Does deep engraved coins like cameo, intaglio, so they come up. They look like they come up. And then ones that go in, he does sack scales. He does ones with who knives, stuff like that. Really, really good guy. So if you head over to.
Sorry, Ghost Malone, you're going to get banned, son. You're going to get banned. Okay, I'm going to set him loose to the GEC crowd. He thinks the Medford crowd are hard. Wait till he gets the GEC crowd. You're definitely buying from some dodgy places. Just hard. Yeah, I mean, there's another one from the States. It's so hard to get them in the States. And yet it's so easy to get. Really, the secondhand market here, you're buying them at the price that the people paid for them. Nobody will buy them. That's why I'm in a special GEC group. Well, they're not GEC, but that would be the specialty. And we sell them to each other at the same price. So it's easy to swap one for another, and you're only paying the price at the cost. And that's why I've got over the years, I must have got 50 or 60 different GECs. I'm sitting at about 16 or 17 now, but I don't want to go any higher, to be honest. I'm starting to find other knives that I'm enjoying. Like the Jack Wolves, I really enjoy my Jack Wolves. My Arthur Wrights and my customs from Ashley Harrison, which I just adore. What time is it? Is that 8:30? Gosh,
but I was just saying about who he's apologised to. That's Thomas Limitless Engraver. If you want to check out his work, You can check him out on Instagram or his website, Limitless Engraver, or just pop onto my website and there's a link for him there. Just press on that and you'll see what he's doing. He's doing some wonderful stuff from coins, cards. He does engraving for a lot of other people as well.
Yeah.
If you see something and you're like, that's nice, chances are, if you bought it in the EDC community or from another dealer, he's done that. So that's him.
Yeah,
He's
very well.
really friendly guy from Transylvania. He's not from Poland or wherever you say he's from, Stephen. Germany. That's what you say, didn't you?
What?
You call him Tim from Germany, didn't you? It's not. He's Tamas and he's from Germany.
I thought it was Igor from Russia.
That's him. Yay! There we go.
I'm no good with names. I forget. What do you call my wife? Sally's name quite a lot. Well, look, folks, that's been about an hour. God, that's flew past an hour and 10 minutes. Thank you so much for everybody who joined.
Can we do the giveaway?
Oh, you're doing a giveaway? Oh, wow.
Giveaway. No point in coming on otherwise. No one likes looking at my face. So might as well.
Right, okay, well, let's do a giveaway where ask a question about sacks, and whoever gets the right answer first gets the sack. So get ready now. Get ready by it. Don't say it until I tell you. Everybody get ready. He's going to ask the question on sacks. Whoever gets the answer right first on here wins the what's the knife, Dan? Give us the knife again.
That is a custom 84mm Tourist with a copper and brass wash blades with white tech liners.
That's a flipping beautiful knife, mate.
So
there you go. Are you ready for it? What's the question, Dan?
The question is, it's going to be easy. What's the smallest model they still produce now, as in size?
Yeah.
What's the smallest size they still manufacture?
And you want that in millimeters?
Yes, please, in millimeters, please.
Go ahead, boys. Get typing. 58mm.
Yeah, who got it?
Thrifty Kniffy.
Oh.
Well, you can send it back with him when he gets you the book 112. That's lovely, Thrifty. Contact Dan on his channel. You know his channel. You're going to send him a message anyway. That's really, thank you very much. I really didn't expect that. That's a lovely, lovely gift. And so thank you to everybody who came in tonight. I'm sorry Justin wasn't here. I'm sorry I'm so bad with the talk box. I find this incredibly difficult. I'm going to go and lie in a dark room for about a day. I'm sweating from head to toe. I forgot I've got a fan. I get panicked every time somebody asks me a question. So there you go. I miss Justin. Look, thank you very much, folks. All right, I'm going to say goodnight, Dan. Say goodnight.
Good night.
Thank you. You'll see Dan again on the channel. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Where do I do it? Up here. Bye. End stream.